Temperatures 6 to 9 degrees.
Francis Jones on Radio Kerry.
Going to saddle up my old grey mare. Oh, ride through the night without a worry or a care. I'm a messenger boy, bringing my love to you. A messenger boy, bringing my love to you. Oh, I'm riding through the cold wind and rain. Well, I'm in love and I do not feel the pain. I'm a messenger boy, bringing my love to you. A messenger boy, bringing my love to you. Oh, two black gates and a man shouts, who goes there? Well, I said I'm not right and I'm ridden through the cold and the wind and the rain and the sleet and the snow, and I'm in love and I do not feel the pain. I'm a messenger boy, bringing my love to you. A messenger boy, bringing my love to you. Her bedroom. I pray to God I didn't come here too soon. I'm a messenger boy, bringing my love to you. A messenger boy, bringing my love to you. Going to saddle up my old grey mare. Oh, right through the night without a worry or a care. I'm a messenger boy, bringing my love to you. A messenger boy, bringing my love to you.
Christie Hennessy and Messenger Boy, good morning. Welcome along to Thursday's 11 to 1 Club. Thank you very much indeed to Jerry Kerry today, back tomorrow morning between 9 and 11. If you've been listening all week, you'll be aware the reason we're playing Christie Hennessy is because Mark Leen will be joining me momentarily in studio and will be with me between now and 1 o'clock because there's a big event taking place in the Greyhound Bar in Tralee tomorrow as part of the celebrations of the life of Christie Hennessy, and particularly on his 80th birthday, what would have been his 80th birthday celebrations this week. So details on that, Mark will join me in just a moment. First, let me tell you, we'll have the bingo on the way shortly. We'll also have today's coffee break selection. We've got Kerry on working 11:45, just a thought after news and weather at 12, our four-letter word and feel-good song at 12:25, words of wisdom before we finish, and if you'd like to contact us, maybe some memories of Christie Hennessy between now and 12, or any general requests, you can do so by phone, text, WhatsApp or email anytime between now and 12 for comments regarding Christie Hennessy, or anytime between now and 1 for any general comments on the programme. So that's what we have for you. And before we get around to some more music, Mark joins me in studio, as I said. Good morning to you, Mark.
Good morning, Francis. Great to be with you and to be back on Radio Kerry again.
I'm back from Portugal.
Yeah.
The last time you messaged me, you were in Portugal.
I was
having a bit of sunshine, and you've got the colour to show for it as well, Mark.
Thank you. Browned off.
Yeah. Listen, before we the big event is tomorrow night. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but seeing as we played Messenger Boy, you were beginning to tell me a story regarding that particular song. What's the story behind it?
Christy, I suppose it goes back to making the best of your lot in life. Do you know, people complain, well, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth and this and that. And Christy had very humble beginnings, and he used to talk about the army coats thrown over him and stuff like that. And he got given out to, it was called an eider down, and he said, I'd be inside in the bed and I'd be there with my brother Jimmy, and we'd be playing radios and we'd be playing with the buttons and the coats, and the innocence of it. He grew up, he got a job, he was in and out of the Curtin household, and this was crucial for his music career because he was listening to the great Henry Curtin. People don't know a lot about Henry Curtin, but he was a 5-star drummer, as given that by the Musicians Union of America. He drummed behind Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, all these guys in America, and died in America. I visited his grave in Las Vegas. But anyway, Henry Curtin was Christy Ross's hero. Christy Ross is the real name of Christie Hennessy, and Henry Curtin had metal drumsticks made to play the drums, and so Christy Ross wanted to become a drummer. And he started off messing around with the drums and this and that. And years later, and I met the man and I asked him straight to his face, Mick Fleetwood of Fleetwood Mac. And I talked to him about Christy Ross, and he says, oh yeah, Christy. He said, I remember Christy. He said, we wanted him to be our drummer. And so I can actually clarify that here today on the air, that Christie Hennessy was asked to be the drummer in Fleetwood Mac before ever he, as Christy used to say himself, took me 40 years to become an overnight success, but he was a messenger boy around town. There was messenger boys around town, Nora Deedee's, Bailey's, Tom Scannell's Central Tea Stores, all these different shops up and down the town, when Tralee was a bustling, thriving sort of a place. There was people coming out of McQuinn's and all those places, butchers, and delivering stuff, and they had a big basket on the front of the bike. And Christy used to write songs about his own life. So he'd say, at the hall in Denny Street, I saw her standing there. This came out years later. He wrote a beautiful song called Cowboys, about when the young boys used to be going up jocking the horses, Patcheen Callahan's horses in Casements Avenue in the field. They'd come from school and the little girls would be running after them, asking them to pull them up on the horses. And years later, Christy would be sitting at home in Surrey in the UK. Where have the old cowboys gone? I knew long ago. He'd write about his own life, and of course Messenger Boy was one of the most famous, because he went up Ballard and he saw this woman in through a window, and he, in his innocence, he fell in love with her, but he was only about 12 and she was about 45. So that's where that song came from.
Excellent. Just a quick mention, the event tomorrow night, this is a celebration. What was the actual date of birth of Christy?
Well, he would have been 80, so go back 80 years from 2025 and okay. we'll get his
both of us now trying to do that in our heads.
His date of birth is a 45, I'm sure. But it was actually Mayor Terry O'Brien's idea. He said, look, we've got to mark Christie's 80th. I mean, we have the statue below, this fabulous statue, and it's up there with some of the best statues in the world. Mm-hmm. It's really, really good. And we did a lot of work. I was on that committee at the time to get it down there. And a lot of people don't know, but the area around there is called Christie Hennessy Place.
I didn't know.
And yeah. So, and then of course we had the Christie Hennessy weekend that was going for a long, long time, finding new singer-songwriters. And there's a great tradition of singing, songwriting in Tralee. There's people writing songs the whole lot. I just came from Germany. I was singing in Leipzig 2 weeks ago, and they said, where are you from? And I said, I'm from Tralee. Where is this? I said, you know Ray Garvey, Raymond, the act, Raymond? Oh yeah, we know Raymond. I said, his hometown. You see, and they get it then. So I mean, he's another one of our exiles, gone out there and writes his own songs, and he's huge out there. So we have them all over the place, but Christy paved the way. And I think a crucial thing for people to remember about the mountain that Christy climbed, Christy couldn't read or write. I said, Christy, how do you do it? I sing into tapes, Mark. Tapes. Now we have, phones and everything. Now we have the apps, and we can when I get a song idea, I just sing into it.
Really?
But I get maybe one line, of a song.
And why do you do that? In case it's gone for you, you need to know.
Well, you can. If any songwriter will tell you the whole song doesn't come. So, like, you play, we'll say a Prayer for Me or Alaska. So you would play those two songs. So, like,
you get one line and you work around that.
I would work around the line. Right. I would get the line first and sing. Darling, won't you say a prayer for me? And then I'd start thinking. I remember I was thinking of Don McLean and the progressions in one of his songs called Castles in the Air, the way he played the guitar.
Great song,
dum. Bernie Flint, I don't want to put no hold on.
I'm going to sing with you now, and that'll turn everybody off the radio.
And I said, I'd love to put that progression into a song. And I started to build it. And eventually I got this lovely, because I love easy listening stuff. I love stuff that lasts. I love Frank Sinatra stuff. That's why Fly Home for Christmas always gets played for me. Because I wanted to write a song that I thought Frank Sinatra might be able to sing. So I started off with a kind of an ideal in my mind. But Christy used to do that, and he'd sing one line into a tape, and he'd have hundreds, and maybe even into the thousands of these little bits and pieces. And he used to tell me personally, because I was great friends with him, he'd say, "That's a good one, that's a good one. Yeah. No, that's no good. I'll use that now and that."
Yeah.
And eventually he put it together like a jigsaw, Mark, like a jigsaw, you know.
You sound very like him too, it has to be said. Mark, stay with us. We got more Christie Hennessy music, more Christie Hennessy memories, and more details on the event tomorrow night. Hi, you're very welcome back. If you've just joined us, Mark Leen is in studio with me until 12 o'clock today, and the reason being we're celebrating what would have been the 80th birthday celebrations of Christie Hennessy, and with that in mind, there's a big event taking place at the Greyhound Bar in Tralee tomorrow night. We'll talk more about that before 12. Mark, welcome back. Christy, we played before that. I know we're moving off track a little bit, but I know you want to mention your own Fly Home for Christmas. The line at the end, it's
Fly
probably
first class, baby.
Fly first class, baby. You were kind of telling me off air that will I put it in, won't I put it in, but you eventually decided.
I was up in Northern Ireland, and it was funny. It was the middle of April, we were recording it, and they all had Christmas hats, the sax players, trumpet players and everything. And we had a great orchestrator, a guy called Paul Campbell, and he worked for the BBC, and he was touring with Marty Pellow and all this kind of crack, but he'd done the orchestrations for that song, Tony Flaherty, from Killarney, and all these people involved in it, trying to make it the best it could be. And so I go into the studio, and I always remember that Frank Sinatra, he had this tongue-in-cheek kind of a thing, that he would say something in the middle of a song or whatever, and it would still seem as if it was perfect. And at the end of that song, I had this big note, "To have you home on Christmas Day." And I knew this big BAM was coming, because I love the big finish, and that comes from my influences around Elvis. Da-da-da-dan, a big finish in a song. And so I just threw in, "And fly first class, baby." BAM. And I just thought. And they looked at me and they said, "Mark, will we leave this on with the Northern Ireland? Are you sure you want to leave it on?" And then, of course, during the week I was listening to Christmas FM, and the DJ turned around and he said, "And fly first class, baby." He said, "I just love that finish." He said, "I wish we could all fly first class." So it seemed to have been worth it. People like it. It's a bit of fun, if you have to have fun with music as well.
Yeah, indeed we do. Now, we were also about to have a chat off air about, we started. We have these chats, and then suddenly the ad break finishes and we've got to come back on. Yeah. So we're going to start back to where you started, about Christie's family, mainly based in England. You said Tim sounds very much like him. Tell us a little bit more.
Right, so there's a show going on in the world at the moment called Songs of My Father by Jim Croce's son. Now, people will be familiar with Jim Croce. Time in a Bottle. An amazing guy that died at 32 years old, very young, in a plane crash. But he left us some of the most beautiful songs. And I always said, if I was ever on an island with one album, it would be Jim Croce's best. He's a wonderful singer-songwriter. And but his son does this show called Songs of My Father, and he sounds nothing like him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I was listening to a show called Hennessy, which is Hermione, the lovely Hermione, who's listening in from the south of France today. Hello,
good morning, Hermione.
And Amber and Tim, and the three of Christy Ross's children are on the stage. And then Tim is very humble, he's very quiet, and he's very unassuming, and he plays the guitar, and he's quite virtuoso on the guitar as well, like his dad. His dad played clawhammer guitar to an excellent standard, and all guitar players that know about it will tell you that Christie Hennessy was a great guitar player. But Tim starts to sing then, and he sounds like his dad. And I said, wow, do you know what I mean? And I've heard it once as well with Dickie Rock's son. He sang at his dad's funeral, and it was like listening to his dad. Do you know, some people just have it in the genes. So I think Tim Ross has that. But yeah, the music is definitely there. And Jimmy, of course, passed away around a couple of months ago, and he was Christy's brother. He played guitar and sung. So they were quite musical. They loved musical. And the Ross family, of course, took great pride in their own Christy. And I'm sure it's... To them, he was their uncle, and he was their cousin, and their famous cousin that used to come back for the Rose of Tralee. And now they go down and they see the statue in the square and stuff like that. And what touches me really is the flowers. People lay flowers there on the significant anniversaries. Like December 11th now will be the anniversary coming up, and I know that some people are actually are going to be putting flowers down there, and there's a wreath going up. Frank Hartnett from Kerry County Council has always loved Christie Hennessy and knows all his songs, and and has done a lot of great things to remember Christie. There's a guy coming to the show tomorrow night from Donegal, all the way from Donegal, and Johnny Coonan, and he sings beautifully the Christie Hennessy songs. But he said to me, he said, Mark, would you ever bring me to the birthplace of Christie Hennessy? Could you show me where it is? Now, I wouldn't know where that was, only for Frank Hartnett getting a plaque put up there. Mm-hmm. It's in St. John's Park, what used to be Brogue Lane one time, or Steeple View, if you want to call it, the posh version, Yep. And that's where Christie Hennessy kind of, was born in that area. And of course, he grew up around Casements Avenue and stuff like that. But he was a Tralee man through and through. When he was on the Late Late Show, he never lost his Tralee accent when he spoke to Pat Kenny. And he said, Pat, he said, it took me 40 years to become an overnight success. So, he was just down to earth. And that's why we loved him, I think.
There's about 50 seconds of an intro into this. Tell us a little bit about Roll Back the Clouds.
So Christie Hennessy was the only Tralee man to appear on Top of the Pops, and this was very touching when you think of the big festival in Ireland, and there's Christie all alone on the stage with his guitar and his daughter looking lovingly at her dad, and the crowd are silent, a crowd of young people, and he opens his mouth to sing the first line, I've been waiting here so long. And how true that is for so many artists, for someone to give us a break, someone to say, do you know what, you actually are talented, and you deserve to be heard, and Christie deserved to be heard.
And with that in mind, here's the song in question, Roll Back the Clouds, Christie Hennessy.
I've been sitting here so long for you to hear my songs, but all you want to know, have I been on the radio? Who's the biggest star I've seen? What is my favorite scene? And if I get the job, would I sing on Mars? Yes, sir, I would sing on Mars. I'd play upon a star. I'd sing songs of the sun. And when my job was done, I would say I love you so. And I'd like to play one more, just to all young lovers for the road. Tell me, son, yeah, just how far I need to go to be a star. I have known my highs and lows. I've worked in every show. I've played in every town and brought some houses down. Yet critics never notice me. I'm not a star, you see. And yet I give my heart to every part. I would stand for hours and hours. I'd wade through sun and showers with my dancing shoes and my dreams on view. I'd walk upon an empty stage with one light in my face, to be told don't phone us, but we'll phone you. Be a star. Every day the same old scenes, the same old happenings, 100 miles of shows, and yet no place to go. And when your luck is all run out, you're asked to take a bow. You've just stolen the show, but now you're on your own. Yes, sir, yeah, but sing on Mars. My dream scene is meet a star, meet a star. I am a star.
Roll back the clouds, Christie Hennessy. About 10 seconds, just a quick word there on the line, I am a star. You explain that to listeners there.
Well, what is a star? You know what I mean? People remember that line, I am a star, and people quote him from it, but it's like Robert De Niro, you talking to me, that kind of a thing. People remember one line, and that was Christie's line, I am a star. But someone that stars in a TV show, stars in a film, and they star in a theatrical production or whatever, but then if they become loved by the audiences, they have drawing power, and that gives them star power. And Christy had that, in spades. He was unique. If I turned on Francis Jones in the middle of a song, and that song was Christie Hennessy, outside of being from Tralee, I'd know that was Christie's voice. Whereas a lot of boy bands, if you turn on in the middle of a song by a lot of the boy bands of the 90s, you'd say, is that Boys to Men? Is it Westlife? Is it Boyzone? Who is it? Do you know what I mean? Whereas Christie Hennessy, the only person close to Christie Hennessy was Cat Stevens. I love my dog as much as I love you. His voice was in the same kind of range.
Same level,
Joe Dolan then sounded like, that guy that sang Forever and Ever and Ever.
Demise
and
Roussos.
The one. Demise Roussos. And Joe sounded a bit
Correct,
like him. So people have
it.
frequency ranges, and Christie's was very unique.
Very good. Okay, Marcus staying with us until 12. We'll have more Christie Hennessy music and memories, but first we take a break.
All the lies that you told me, all the tears that I've cried, all the loving you gave me, it was a lie.
But I could never imagine when I felt so high that there could be somebody new, better than you in my life.
When I woke up this morning with tears in my eyes, I never felt more like saying goodbye. But I could never imagine when I felt so high that there could be somebody new, better than you in my life. Am I just fooling myself? Could there be somebody else? Could there be somebody new waiting around the corner? Yes, there is, waiting for you, waiting for someone like you.
All the nights that you told me, all your loving was mine, and I wanted to listen to all of your lies, but I could never imagine when I felt so high that there could be somebody new, better than you in my life.
That's Christie Hennessy and the RTE Concert Orchestra and All the Lies That You Told Me. And a lot of artists who have passed away, likes of Joe Dolan and a number of others, have collaborated their music with the concert orchestra, and it's different. What do you make of those songs? Then
I like it. It's a different twist on it. But what you'll find is that a lot of the record companies have this body of work. Like we'll say, for instance, Elvis Presley Enterprises don't own Elvis Presley's music. It's the record company that owns it. So what they'll do is they'll put a new wrinkle on it, and they will, like RTE, they have the orchestra the whole time, and they're on salary, and so they might bring out something. They might have a project. Okay, we're going to do an album of Christie Hennessy songs, and in fact, while Christy was alive, I rang him in Sutton and wanted him to come to the INEC Killarney to play with the RTE Concert Orchestra. Alas, it never came to pass. But yes, that's nice, but I think the subject matter of that song was about cheating. Somebody cheating on the innocence of another. You know, we enter into a relationship with all the best intentions, and we say, you know what, I'm going to take my heart out of my chest, put it in your hand and say, don't drop it. Do you know?
Yeah.
And then somebody turns around and does the dirt or does whatever, etc.,
and drops it.
And you know, and then Christy. No, that had never happened to Christy, but he was able to step outside of the box, take the helicopter view. He wrote songs about people that were going on around him, situations like there was a cot death, we'll say, in the house next door. And he wrote a lovely song for the couple called Song for Stephen. Yeah. And he imagined that Stephen was the captain of the Arsenal team, even though little Stephen, the baby, died in the cot. Yeah. And he presented this to the parents as an I love you to them. Yeah. And they were just blown away. And the song became famous, Song for Stephen, you know. Yeah. But yeah, so that's it's nice that the RT Concert Orchestra honoured Tralee and Christie Hennessy and he has a unique body of work. But the pace of that song and the style of it is very different to the sentiment of it. The sentiment of Francis Black had a huge hit with it. Other artists recorded Christie songs, and Christy Moore, of course, says that Don't Forget Your Shovel If You Want to Go to Work was the song that gave him a big break. If you look at Reeling in the Years, you see Christy Moore as a navvy on the building site, and that was the first song that gave him a hit, and now Christy Moore can sell out all over the world. Indeed.
Now, the reason I'm pausing there is because there's piles and piles of messages coming through, so I don't want to ignore those. You're a legend, Mark, from a good friend. Don't read my name, but he'll know who I am, and I know who it is as well.
Yeah, a legend.
I once stayed in London with Christy's brother and his wife, Breda Byrne, who was from Mitchell's Tralee. That's Marie Morrison. Lots of memories, you see. Yeah. Charles, enjoying listening to yourself and Mark chat about Christie Hennessy, and great to meet yourself and Morris yesterday in Listowel. Thank you for dropping by. And can you ask Mark what he thinks about Seamus Harty's version of Roll Back the Clouds?
I think Seamus Harty's an incredible talent. I think that big things are going to come from Seamus Harty. I was listening to him recently on Spain and radio in Spain, and he did us proud. And I think if there's one talent in Tralee at the moment that is the future of singing, songwriting in Tralee, I think it's Seamus Harty.
Very good. Thank you for that. Also as well, beautiful interview with Mark, and I'm really enjoying the gorgeous music of Christie Hennessy. Just great. Mary from North Kerry.
Hi, Mary.
Mark and family wishing you a very happy Christmas and all Happy New Year from Marie in Ballyduff.
Hi, Marie.
And Mary contacted the show to let us know that when her 14-year-old grandson Luke Dennehy and his friends were playing in the FAI Cup final, they were ordering a banner and looking to put meaningful words on it. They used some lyrics by Christie Hennessy. Believe in me, and you will see the things I see. Just goes to show Christie's music is far-reaching, and they were 14-year-olds and were so moved by it.
That's
so
lovely.
at such a young
Luke
age.
is a big Elvis fan as well.
Excellent. Hi, Francis and Mark. Roll Back the Clouds was played at my mother's funeral. She was a proper townie and loved Christie. There wasn't a dry eye in the house. Thanks from Shane in Tralee. Thank you, Shane. And also Christie Hennessy told a lovely story about his father driving a donkey and cart in Tralee when the traffic lights were first put up in Horns roundabout. His father went straight through them. There was a guard, saw them and stopped them and asked, "Did you not see the traffic lights?" To which his father said yes, and said to the guard, "Aren't they lovely?"
But speaking of horns,
we'll hold on back on that for a second, because I know you have a lot to say, Mark. What I want to do is I want to take the break, and then we'll have our final chat and we play our final song as well. But first we'll do this. Welcome back. Hi, Francis. Have a great memory of Christie, one in particular at the Teen Tone Theatre, Ballybunya. My daughter Norma was home from New Jersey, got CDs from Christie, signed them, wrote a little message. She still has them and plays them quite a bit, actually. A total gentleman with emphasis on gentle. Francis, great few memories of Christie. That's came a second time. A lovely tribute to Christie. Met him in the park at the Rose of Tralee. Such a gentleman. May he rest in peace. Thanks to Mark, and that's from Eileen. We could be here for the entire day, Mark, with lots of the messages.
He loved Tralee, you know. He loved walking around Tralee. He used to wear a black suit, and he was very humble. People often say to me, is Daniel O'Donnell really like that? I mean, Daniel's a good singer, a good businessman, but he is really like that in real life. You know, that's just the way he is. There's no airs and graces about him. And Christie was the same. he was like that. And if you met the Christy you met in the street, was the same guy on the stage, you know.
Well, if you'd like to pay tribute and you'd like to find out more, if you enjoy his music, tomorrow night at the Greyhound Bar in Tralee, tell us who's going to be there, when is it open? Is there a charge?
No, it's free, and there's, you know, finger food and plenty of sausages.
Who's organised it, Mark?
Well, it's the Arts Department in Kerry County Council, Frank Hartnett, Kate Kennelly, Clive O'Callaghan, who are in the Arts Department of Kerry County Council. It was mooted, first of all, by our mayor, Terry O'Brien, a great mayor, and there'll be other members there. Councillor Anne O'Sullivan is going to be there, Angie Bailey, Deirdre Ferris, Sammy Locke, Paul Daly, and of course Mikey Sheehy, the great Mikey. And there's a plaque being unveiled there, because it's like a Hall of Fame inside in the Greyhound, and I kind of pushed for the Greyhound because that was Christie's local as well, and all his brothers had a few drinks in there, and there's already some kind of memorabilia up on the wall from Christie's last album, it's a kind of an area set aside, and so we've got a plaque being unveiled there tomorrow night. But we've got wonderful artists, singer-songwriters doing their own stuff, original stuff. It's not about entertainment, it's about people coming down and listening, having a drink in their hand. There's no entry. It starts sharp at 8 o'clock and it will finish at about 11:30. So, but Johnny Coonan is on from 10 to 11. We have John Buggy on there. He's come back from Spain. He's for the event. He's going to be doing a few songs and Christy songs. We've also got the wonderfully talented Noel McAuliffe and Shane Murphy from Oracle. And, guys like that, they're going to be on there singing,
yourself,
etc.
Mark? Are you going to be?
Yeah. I'll
What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
I have a few songs. I like doing Cowboys because it's my favourite Christy song. I'll do a thing I wrote called Song for Christy, which was a poem I wrote when he died, and it turned into a song at the suggestion of Simon Ross, and I recited it over his grave on the day he died. It was the worst weather I ever saw, was Christie Hennessy's funeral, and the bagpiper was blown all over the road as his coffin was going over, or his ashes as they were the cremains. He's got a lovely grave over there, and I always go there once a year at November to that White Angel, and I say a few prayers for Christy. But a wonderful Tralee man, a great inspiration to me. You can do anything you want and don't let anything stand in your way. I think that's the message that Christy leaves us with. He couldn't read, he couldn't write, and yet he made some of the most memorable music.
Yeah. So tomorrow night, just to recap again, the opening hours?
8 o'clock, out the back on the big stage.
Okay.
So it's not about necessarily about going out and drinking and all this kind of thing. It's just, and there's nothing wrong with people enjoying themselves either, but it's about listening to music. These people will have guitars and they'll be singing songs, and there'll be a round of applause at the end of the songs and stuff. So it's a chance to listen to some serious singer-songwriters. There'll be good sound, good lighting from Jason Tehan and so on, and there'll be finger food, and then the mayor will unveil the plaque at around 9 o'clock, somewhere around there.
Okie dokie. Thank you very much indeed, Mark.
Thank you, Francis. My pleasure.
We wish you all Happy Christmas and Happy New Year to you.
Well, thank you, and to you too. And I just want to say, Francis, for what it's worth, I am very grateful to you personally for always playing my songs. You've always played Alaska and Say a Prayer for Me and other songs like that, but also the other artists, the other original artists that you play. I just want to say that to you as you approach the finishing part of your tenure here, but you're going to be irreplaceable.
Appropriately,
Francis.
Christie Hennessy to see us out, and bye-bye love, I think appropriately enough on both sides. Take care of yourself,
goodbye
Mark.
to you now, Francis.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
I'd like to thank each one of you for all the work you gave. Tonight the show is going to see the light of day. Let the dancers take the stage and let the music play. Tonight we'll do it as they would on old Broadway. In fear of the things you do so well and love so dear. Put your face up to the lights and sing it from your heart. He's an